All right, folks, some breaking news. The federal government has indicted Donald Trump in their classified inquiry. ABC News is saying that two sources have confirmed that Donald Trump has been indicted. In fact, Trump has tweeted on Truth Social that his attorneys have been informed that he is being indicted and he is to appear in a Miami courthouse on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Special accounts, of course, Jack Smith has been investigating the classified documents issue. And again, these were the documents that they say were being mishandled by Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And now CNN is reporting, Associated Press is reporting, numerous folks are reporting that indeed Donald Trump has been indicted on 7 counts in the classified documents probe. Candace, explain to our audience what this means for the Department of Justice to indict a former president of the United States. You know, the feds don't just do things willy-nilly. They clearly have got the goods on Donald Trump.
That's right. And they impaneled more than one grand jury. And, you know, the grand jury is, and all the documents are sealed, so we don't know exactly, for example, what was happening in the Florida grand jury, which kind of popped up over the past couple of weeks. What were they doing there? What we do know is this, as you said, the feds don't play. And when they have an indictment where all the parties who are involved can agree that this is enough to perhaps bring this to trial and then find a guilty verdict, that means that they have the receipts. That means that they have the goods in order to move this along. Now he's going to make an appearance in front of the court on Tuesday to hear the exact charges that were brought against him. He'll have the opportunity to respond, and his attorneys will have the opportunity to file any paperwork that they might need in order to get this going in terms of, the next steps in the judicial process. They get to actually have their voices be heard. But as you said, this is something that the feds take seriously, and it is very unusual for this to happen to someone who was the former president. Of course, it has happened before. However, in this case, we know that Donald Trump did a lot of damage to himself by talking. There are recordings of him talking about having certain classified documents. He has made up untruths about how to declassify documents. You know, when I take it home, these documents, they are classified on their own. He's just making it up as he goes along, and he is providing just Christmas gifts for the prosecutors in order to make their case, and they are now opening up those gifts. And what is in it? An indictment, and that is what we're seeing, and we are not surprised.
Reese, a number of people have been highly critical of Attorney General Merrick Garland, saying he has let Donald Trump off the hook. The reality is this case could not have moved forward without Merrick Garland giving his head nod to move ahead. That says a whole lot that a former federal judge, somebody who was nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court by President Barack Obama, who now is the Attorney General, would give the go-ahead for an indictment against a former occupant of the White House.
Oh, well, they should have let him become the Supreme Court justice instead of still in that seat. You know what I'm saying? So now he's up there handed Trump his ass. And I think when Jack Smith was appointed, people said that he means serious business. And it's clear he didn't lollygag around for years like Mueller did, acting like he didn't really give a damn about the fact that the president was a Manchurian candidate. He got right down to business. And the reality is that Trump is guilty as fuck. He's on tapes, as Candace said, basically talking about classified documents. And this is incredibly severe. I mean, anybody who's ever held a clearance knows that when your first briefing, they scare the shit out of you. I mean, if you are not scared to ever even remotely do anything that could be seen as inappropriate with classified material, then you just don't give a damn about the rule of law. And so this, as the chicken's coming coming home to roost. And we knew during the 2020 campaign, many of us said that the biggest threat to national security is Donald Trump. And he's always played fast and loose with classified documents. He played fast and loose with people even getting classic security classifications. Remember, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner could not pass an independent classified vetting, and he directed that they get security clearances anyway. And so he should have done what he was supposed to do. There aren't a whole lot of laws that are necessarily the president has to abide by, but this is one of those areas where he screwed up. But the scary part isn't even necessarily that we have a president that's being indicted for this. It's what did he actually do with those secrets? Who did those secrets go to? For what money was exchanged? And what damage has it already done to our national security? That's what we really need to be worried about.
Greg, of course, Trump's lawyers were brought into the DOJ. They essentially got a heads up. They even said, more than, look, when you get called in by the DOJ, they're letting you know, yo, your boy is about to get indicted. And according to this, so this is what ABC said, quote, this is Catherine Faulders. We're learning from our sources that there appears to be at least 7 counts here. This ranges from everything from the willful retention of national defense information to conspiracy to a scheme to conceal to false statements and representations. We even have seen reports, Greg, that the feds have flipped Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff, and have given him some form of immunity. Trump is already saying these are lies, this is false, all the sort of stuff like this here. It's going to be a little hard for his MAGA people to try to dismiss the actual former chief of staff, former member of Congress from North Carolina, somehow being part of the radical left out to get him.
Dismiss it. They're going to run to it. You know, I keep one of these on the table, Roland. This is the Constitution of the United States. This is the qualification for being president of the United States. No person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. You can be the president of the United States in prison. Donald Trump has understood something. There is no constitutional bar to that. Let's get past even a jury conviction. If you can find a jury to convict Donald Trump, there's going to be venue changes. You got some white nationalists out there trying to get on the jury. Let's get past all that and say they put him in jail and say you got a 100-year sentence. Okay. In 1920, Eugene V. Debs, running on the socialist ticket, serving a 10-year sentence because he refused to participate in World War I, got 1 million votes, 3%. Of the president of the United States run. Now, I'm sure people have heard this a million times, so I'll keep this short. Donald Trump ain't Eugene Debs. Pufferfish from Florida, Ron DeSantis, Tim, mission accomplished, Scott, smiling Mike Pence, not even speed bump out of Jersey, Mr. Chris Christie. None of them, all of them, Rhonda Haley, whose daddy taught damn near 30 years at Voorhees HBCU, and she seems to have learned nothing from it, Nikki Haley. Not all of them together don't poll as high as Donald Trump by himself. Donald Trump, no, run from it. He turns to it. They're persecuting me, you all. Donald Trump can win. And let me end with this. The general view among legal scholars is that if he is elected, it could very well be that he could make the argument that the duties of office require him not to be in jail, and they may suspend or put on hold the sentence. And finally, the man might say what Eugene Debs said in 1920, if I win, I'm going to pardon myself. Let's strap in and see how this turns out.
Folks, hold tight 1 second. I'm going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And I'm going to play for y'all this clip that was in the CNN town hall where this fool, Mike Pence, who was Trump's vice president, was asked by Dana Bash about this very issue. And if y'all want to hear a weasel, you're going to hear one in 2 minutes. Back in a moment. So, folks, the breaking news, Donald Trump has been indicted by a federal grand jury regarding the classified documents probe. Indicted on 7 counts. He has to appear in a Miami courtroom at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Now, if you want to see a coward, Mike Pence is a perfect example. CNN had their town hall, and Dana Bash asked him about this very issue. Listen to Mr. Law and Order, who was running out at the mouth about how we need to be prosecuting people for guns and what's happening in Chicago. Listen to what he had to say about, his former guy breaking the law.
Solves these issues without an indictment.
Sir, I just want to clarify. What you're saying is that if they believe he committed a crime, they should not go forward with an indictment. You just talked before about committing to the rule of law.
Let me be clear that no one's above the law.
Okay.
But with regard to the unique circumstances here, look, those classified, I had no business having classified documents in my residence, and I took full responsibility for it. President Biden had no business having them in his residence from when he was vice president as well. And the same with former President Trump. But I would just hope that there would be a way for them to move forward without the dramatic and drastic and divisive step of indicting a former president of the United States. We've got to find a way to move our country forward and restore confidence in equal treatment under the law in this country. We really do.
Candace, I'm confused here. Either you believe in the law or you don't. 2, he said, I fully cooperated. Donald Trump didn't. The difference between Mike Pence and Joe Biden is Donald Trump purposely obstructed the law. He did not. They were moving. We're going to know on Tuesday the specifics, but they were literally moving it around. He was ignoring the DOJ, ignoring the lawyers. He was breaking the law.
He was breaking the law, and you're as confused as I am with what Mike Pence said. He was just putting words together. It didn't make any sense. But what we do know is this, that the world is already divided. The country is already divided because of Donald Trump. So that's the worst argument that he could have made in all of this. And as you said, Donald Trump did things intently, with intent to defy the law, as opposed to a Biden or even a Mike Pence. So I don't know why in the world. And that's what we're going to see a lot of. We're going to see who is going to be the first candidate, whether it's going to be DeSantis, it's probably going to be Christie, it won't be Pence, to really get at the heart of Donald Trump and call him out for who he is, because nobody's done it so far. And that's really what this is about. He did not want to go all the way and say, put my former boss in jail. He was playing all sides to make sure that he wasn't the target of Donald Trump itself. And that's what we are seeing in that clip right there.
See, here I love this, Rishi. We're so divided. Yes, those who break the law and those who don't. Yes, we're divided. Right. We're on the side of those who don't break the law. Trump is on the side of those who love to break the law.
And how do you prove that everybody is equal under the law by not indicting the person who's breaking the law just because they were the president? That doesn't make any sense. The math is not math of Mike Pence. But I don't see any Republican really calling out Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is still the leader of the Republican Party. And all these people know they cannot beat him. I think, as Dr. Carr said, he's going to run into this. And the reality is the stakes are higher than ever for Donald Trump to continue his campaign so that he can claim some sort of political persecution. 50-50, maybe 65-35, whoever you want to talk to, chance of him getting elected and pardoning himself. This is life or death for Donald Trump. And so he has to keep going. And people in the Republican Party are happy to be HUD secretary, vice president, something along those lines. And so people do not have the balls, the moral courage, or even the decency to say that a former president selling off state secrets is beyond the pale and he needs to step aside and face the music for breaking the law.
Absolutely.
You know, I love this stupidity here, Greg. Here's this idiot Will Cain of Fox News. I should destroy him when we were at CNN together. He goes, Pence not indicted, Clinton not indicted, Biden not indicted for inappropriate retention of classified documents, leading candidate for president in opposition to current regime, Trump indicted for inappropriate retention of classified documents. No, dumbass, it's for obstruction of justice.
Mm-hmm. But Roland, you know, I was watching your conversation with Bill Bellamy when you were walking him through the politics of commentary and the conversation you had with Simone Sanders about her and Angela Ryan, how they let Corey Lewandowski run circles around them on a live segment on CNN. What have we learned from the first time Donald Trump ran for president? Here CNN is again, having just lost their head. Allowing these platforms for these fools to dispute his propaganda in a country that ain't that smart to begin with. And what you're basically doing is doing what they did before. This mass commercial and news entertainment media is creating a drama. This is reality television, and Donald Trump is the master of reality television. So all the logic goes out the window. What is the law? See, what you were talking with Bill about was the rules. Different than the law. See, Mike Pence, I remember one time we were down there, you were about to do News One Now, and everybody had the same green room, and Mike Pence came in there. I guess he's going to do Morning Joe. That is the whitest man I've ever seen with my own two eyes. I've never seen anybody without any pigment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell? This guy has no pigment. I'm saying that to say that when he barges into Iowa, Tim Scott thinks he's going to get some evangelical vote. But guess what? Smiling Mike's in it now, baby. So the people who believe in Jesus, they ain't gonna vote for you, Tim. You can scream Jesus till your teeth fall out, mission accomplished, but that is the whitest man that I've ever seen. He is banking on his whiteness and his onward Christian soldier shtick to get him some of that vote. But why do I put all that? It all comes down to this, though. As long as Donald Trump draws breath, in jail or out, his X factor, he might not win the presidency, but the United States is not a unique country. I know people like say it's the greatest country in the world and the best experiment in democracy. We just saw Erdogan get reelected in Turkey. He got just enough oppression in to split the vote, get to the runoff and win. As long as Donald Trump is in this mix, there is the potential for chaos, whether he wins the nomination or not. All these people are trying to angle to win a primary, but what Mike Pence is doing, this man without a country is trying to figure out a way, well, if he stumbles and if he's not going to stumble. This is about to be chaos. And every time I see Smiling Mike, there are only three words that come to mind. And these are the three words that haunt him every day. January 6th, 2021. Hang Mike Pence. Mike Pence know he ain't got a shot in here. He just hoping that something's going to break in his way, and he ain't even got a clue. So he's just up there spinning. And CNN is letting him spin, which is why we got to have a Black Star Network, because you might be the only game in town trying to tell the truth, because the rest of these people are chasing ratings.
Well, look, folks, Miami is going to be on and popping at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, when Donald Trump got to walk his orange ass into a federal courthouse in Miami, indicted for the second time. First, it was Alvin Bragg in New York City. Now it is Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, indicting him in Miami. The DOJ is not confirming this. The documents, the indictment is under seal. It will be revealed in court on Tuesday. And so, Fannie Willis, we waiting on you. We waiting on you.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and go for the hat trick, make it a trifecta, and hit his ass with a third indictment. It's going to be real interesting. Look, we know how he's going to respond, and we know his ignorant MAGA supporters are going to try to make every other excuse as well. But final comment here, Candace. When those prosecutors have to reveal in court that they have recordings of people admitting to him moving documents, when they reveal a lot of this stuff in that charging document, it's going to be a little hard for a lot of these Republicans to try to explain that one away.
It will. And following the indictment that Alvin Bragg brought upon Donald Trump, which people say was not as detailed as they would have liked to have seen, I bet they're going to do their job this time. Tuesday's going to be something else when that indictment comes down and we get to read all the details. It's going to be a lot more than Bragg had. And as you said, there's going to be a lot more evidence supporting what Donald Trump did in terms of obstructing justice.
All right, then. Candace, Reese, Greg, we certainly appreciate y'all joining us. Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.